morning. Welcome to the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. I just want to welcome everybody on YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, and we're here in the room. It's beautiful. So let's get started with our first two community songs.
Look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We
We
come
come
together.
together.
We come together in the name of love.
From every walk of life,
Every walk of life,
every creed and color,
every creed and
in
color,
kinship we unite.
kinship we unite.
In honor of the God in each other. You take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat after
We
me.
come together.
We 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 come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
In the name of love. Thank you. Good morning. All right. I heard some voices singing out there. It sounded good. You all know this one too, so feel free to bring it out. Love is but a song we sing. Fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains rain or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, you may not know why. Come on,
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much. That was so heart-opening. Good morning to everyone. I am Reverend Madalyn Wade, and I'm welcoming everybody on YouTube and Facebook and Zoom and here in the room. And and if you'd like to send it out and have more people join, it's like, I'm doing this cool thing, please join me. That would be awesome. So just let's breathe together. Oh, that sounds so good. Thank you. So I'm honored to be your minister this morning. And it's such a pleasure to remind us who we are. So I'm going to tell you who we are. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of the science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion for ourselves, each other, and the world. We experience meaningful contributions through giving generously of our time, our talents, and our treasures. And we intentionally promote our community and its teachings. So one of the ways we do this is we celebrate with an inclusion candlelighting ritual. And Reverend Lanny's going to help us. So we light these candles to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, and all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles of love and law. And we light the 10th candle for the absolute inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the infinity of oneness as all of creation, seen and unseen. And now I'm going to turn it over back to the musicians for more music, another community song.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's yeah, just music just opens my heart up. It's amazing. Uh, so, brace yourselves. There's announcements. There's lots of announcements. It's all good. So there are informational slides on your screens if you are online. And if you're joining us, there's also, if you're here, there's also a handout in the room. Or there's a weekly newsletter that'll have all this in it as well. So you're not going to like miss anything, okay? So first off, obviously we are open. We are all here. We are following the guidelines and the guidance of the Nevada County and probably the state of California and yeah, anyway. So you guys, all of us are kind of seasoned with this now. I think we kind of know we're navigating good. But what we're doing here is we are using a coded bead system, which I think is very fun. And if it's a red strand of beads, it's no touching. That person would just like space between them and you, and just honor that. So that way you don't have to communicate and talk about it, all that stuff. It's just very clear. Yellow is you're still figuring it out, and what's comfortable. Please ask me. Just don't just run up and grab me or anything, So it's all good. And then of course green, don't grab people even if they're green. But green says, I'm perfectly comfortable, everything's cool. Please feel free to give me a hand check or whatever. The other thing we do is we have seat savers. So if you want to have space around you here in the sanctuary, you could put a little seat saver next to you, and that gives you a little bit more space. And then if by chance you're not feeling great on Sunday morning when you wake up, we would love to see you online. That's the best option, is to come on Zoom or Facebook or whatever. Please not in person. And if for some reason after this service you do happen to become positive, let us know, and then we will let people know as well, because we want to do our, the best thing for everybody, so that everybody feels healthy and well and confident and all those things. Reverend Rafe, who is usually here, is doing his Walking with the Rev again, and he's doing it Monday through Thursday, and from 9 a.m. to 10 in the morning, and he meets at the North Star Mine Museum. And what he does is in the parking lot, it's at Freeman Lane and Allison Ranch Road, he goes out for half an hour, and then at half an hour turns back. So don't worry about, it's going to be too far or anything like that. It's just, it's at the pace of whoever's walking. That's how fast you go. So the next thing I want to mention is there are crossword puzzles that Reverend Rafe has developed that are a really cool way to learn the science of mind. And he based it on the glossary terms. So it's fun. And if you go on our website and click under Learn, it's down there with all the other classes. And you can check it out. And there's different levels that you could buy different participation at it. So it's very cool. And then I keep doing that. It's so funny. Deborah Ellis, who is a practitioner here, who I seem to be making a reverend. So I'm just letting her know that that's in her future. She will be facilitating a workshop called Creating Community Impact. And it's part 2 of a 3-part online service series. And so the next one is Wednesday, July 20th, from 4 to 5:30 Pacific time. So if you're in a different time zone, which is possible, just adjust for that. And you can register for that online at columbiacsl.com/event. And that's a great thing. Now, here's something that I think is really important and close to my heart. And that is on August 7th, right here, from 10 to noon, we're going to be doing a celebration of life and making peace with grief. Because over the last, I'm getting chills, 2 years, there's been so much grief, so many people, events, occurrences, all sorts of things that we've let go of. And it's just, there's a lot of delayed grief and protracted grief out there, and sorrow. And we're going to come together to celebrate with song and ritual and fellowship and just acknowledge some of the losses, celebrate some of the people, and just, so it's a collective and an individualized service. In fact, if you want to just come and go within for 2 hours, you can do that too, actually. And then there, of course, you know what? This is a spiritual community. There will be a potluck afterwards. So if you bring yummies, we can share and break bread together. That would be awesome. And then on Mondays now, there is a Mondays Mastery group. And if you're frustrated with the circumstances in your life, things aren't just going the way you want, and you want to manifest something, this is a great place to come. And it's Manifestation Monday, and you learn about being in alignment with the universal reciprocity of the law of attraction, and you create your heart's desires. What is my next step? What am I yearning for? And it's right here at Sierra Center, Monday, 5:30 to 6:30. And recommended investment is $10 each week. And then on Thursdays, there's a practical application group. And so if you bring issues in, it gives you a forum to work through those issues with the Science of Mind principles and to get another perspective and another enlightenment on it. And it also is here at Sierra Center, and it's $10 suggested donation. Okay, now, so fun, not that those other things aren't fun. It's fun to work through stuff and to grow. So I'm all for that. But to playtime, I look at it that way, is on Friday, August 5th, there's going to be a movie here. Every first Friday, we have some kind of celebration and gathering of people. And so this time, it's going to be to watch a movie called Come Sunday, which I haven't seen. So I have to see it now. But Come Sunday is a movie that challenges the core beliefs and forces us to reevaluate our perception of others. And it's a story of Bishop Carlton Pearson. So in 1998, he was a very charismatic and dynamic speaker and leading community. And then he realized that he no longer believed in hell, which was a problem for his congregation. So he shares his revelation that there is no hell, and some people in the congregation label him as a heretic. And so after 25 years of being the leader of this community, they basically ostracize him. It's like, you're out of here, we don't, you know. But he truly, truly believes that there is no hell. And so he remains steadfast. He's going to keep with it. So despair, I'm sure his conviction just, it grew, but it was tested. It was definitely tested. So, but Come Sunday's not all doom and gloom, because he comes through this in an amazing way, and he's loving people unconditionally. And it confronts you with the idea that you never know what you don't know until you open your mind. It's like, oh, what else is possible? I mean, which is a great, anyway, I don't want to get into my talk already. Okay, so Bishop Carlton Pearson is still telling his truth. He's telling his truth. So there'll be snacks and beverages for purchase if you want. Recommended investment, 10, 12, 20 bucks. Love offerings are always like, come on, yeah, we love it. I love it. Guess what? That was the last one. So let's breathe some more and do our inward shift. Reverend Lanny's going to lead us on. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Reverend Lanny Howard, and I am so happy to be with you this morning to talk about our community value of love. And it is so appropriate with the songs that we've been singing. And so I'd like to start out with a quote from our founder, the Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, who was a spiritual psychologist and a mystic and a philosopher and a theologian. Love is a feeling. Faith is the key to use this feeling. Love has nothing in it that could hurt anything. Faith has nothing in it that can deny any good. This is the starting point, a love that cannot hurt, and a faith that will not be denied. So we are in spiritual community. And when we say love in spiritual community, love is an action verb. And when we love, we are called to serve that which we love. Whether it's a job that we have that we love, whether it's a person that we love, or whether it's a community that we love. We're called to serve because we are giving of ourselves as God gives to us. There is an infinite love that surrounds all of us, and as we open to it and tune into it, we are called to do what it is asking of us, and to continually tune in and realize what is being asked of us, and have the courage to do it. So this is our call in community, to have that kind of love that recognizes we are expressions of the love of God. And so I'm going to also talk about we have to also love ourselves because we are expressions of God. So we have to remember that. And there's a wonderful quote from one of the readings, and I've been taking this magazine, the Science of Mind magazine, since 1995, and there are so many times that the daily guide said exactly what I needed to hear. And so these are written by the Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart. He said, as expressions of spirit, we are worthy of love simply because we exist. We are worthy of good simply because we exist. We are worthy of health simply because we exist. We are worthy of abundance simply because we exist. When we accept our own worthiness, we are ready for healthy, loving, and mutually supportive relationships with others who are themselves capable of such relationships. So we take this time in meditation to open to that realization of the worthiness that we are and the love that we are and the guidance that love gives us. Let me ring the gong and do the Om. Hold on. I'm going to ring the gong 3 times, and then we will say 3 Oms, and then we will go into meditation. peace, harmony, tranquility, serenity, love, beauty, truth, creativity. All of these expressions of good and so many more are present in the infinite allness of spirit that is everywhere present. It is the energy of life itself, the vital, vibrant energy that powers all of our teeny tiny cells that come together in our organs, in our bones, in our bodies, in everything that is. That power, that presence, that life force is active and giving of itself as we are open to it. So I accept and know that we are all incarnations of that infinite energy, of that life force. And as we realize that, open to it, and accept its intelligence, accept its inspiration, accept its flow, we are guided to that which serves our highest good, which serves life itself, that makes each of us a beneficial presence in our families, in our communities, in our society as a whole, that we are guided and gifted with that which serves that higher good, with that which serves the greater realization of unity that is Spirit's desire to express and realize as itself. And so I'm grateful for this time together, for this realization, for the wonderful talk that Reverend Madalyn is giving, for the wonderful music that our musicians are giving us, for all of those in service to us today. We are open to the blessing. We are open to realize, to expand, and to express that God essence in a greater way. And so with great thanksgiving, knowing that this is unfolding, even as I speak it, I release my word into the law of life itself, knowing that the law accepts this word and brings it into perfect manifestation. And we affirm this truth together as we say, and so it is. Okay. And for those of you who are new to the community, that's called an affirmative prayer or a spiritual mind treatment, where we're treating our own mind to know the truth. And so now we're going to do our affirmation. And I'm waiting for it to appear on the screen because I don't see it's behind me.
It'll come.
It's not in front of me. Okay. Okay, yay. All right. Woo. All right, I'm going to say it once, and then I invite you to say it with me. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society. I am a powerful catalyst of love within society. So it is.
This is a song right there. The hardest part, right, is loving what we don't like. People that we project our stuff onto. Y'all know this one too. Sometimes I'm right, and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. Butcher the face. so on and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. We got to live together. The bear is the yellow one that won't accept the black one that won't accept the red one that won't accept the white one. Different strokes for different folks. So on and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Ooh, I am everyday people.
Yay. I mean, oh, there we go. Okay. So the title of today's talk is You and Me Create Society. Darn it. Oh, sorry. Editorial comments. So, because we all are in relationships, and the broader the gathering of the people, we do co-create. And what we co-create is societies. And it's a continuous thing, and it's based on agreements that we've made, some consciously, and a large percentage are unconscious. And that's where it's challenging, because that affects how we relate with each other. Because I think, well, Jeff mentioned it earlier, projection. I think I know what you're thinking. And it's like, yeah, right. There's no way I know what you're thinking. So, but the world that CSL, the Centers for Spiritual Living, want to create is a world that works for all. Everyone. All. And we all are in the one mind. There is one, like, creative mind that we're all sharing. And we're individualized people of it. And Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes tells us, you and I could no more have an individual mind than we could have individual ownership of the principle of mathematics or of harmony or of beauty. So we're all in this together. He continues, each of us is creating in an individual way. We are individualizations of this one mind, and no two are exactly alike. But we are all immersed in the collective thought of the whole human race. And that's where I get judgmental. So, more to be revealed. There is only one God. And we're all in this together. And the way we relate to ourselves and each other and the world and the universal power is all interconnected and inseparable. You can't claim to love God and hate yourself at the same time. So the way you think about yourself is impacting everything in your sphere, everything in the universe, the way you think about yourself. And it's the society. Society is an agreement of the people. Like, we've all agreed to come here today. We're wearing our beads. We're behaving ourselves mostly. And yeah, I won't speak to all. I can't speak for all of you. You may not behave yourselves later. I don't know. But so we want to work for a society and manifest it, something that works for everybody, works for all. And that just, it means relationships with the other. And so there's laws that are created, policies, prayers that are done, all these things. And it's all encompassing. It's everyone. The LGBTQIA+, and everybody. So what I thought of it as is I thought of it as I'm like a microcosm. And what I think and what I feel is reflected in the macrocosm, in the greater world and greater society. So it's important to do your inner work. So if you're, okay, I don't know what your self-talk is like, but mine sometimes isn't very good. It's like if I make a mistake, I don't usually swear, but it doesn't really matter. The impact is the same when I'm saying bad stuff about myself. How could you be so stupid? How could you? So that self-talk is part of it. So if you're doing that inner work and you're holding the inner contradictions, because there's stuff that you do is great, and there's stuff that's like, well, you could use some improvement. So you've got both. And then we take that energy out into society and into community, into villages. And it's important to do that because there are other people in that group who can love and support us, who can assist us in recognizing where we might be off base, where we might be hurting ourselves, where we're not doing the best that we can for others and ourselves. Because if we're doing well for others, it's going to bounce back and reflect onto us. It always does. And so coming to the Sierra Center and participating in other spiritual communities is so important. And whatever way that can happen for you, I encourage you to do that. If only online, whatever. Just support and participate. And then, of course, all this is going on in a world of constant change. There's like so much going on, challenging environments, and then we need to develop new habits, and on and on and on. So, frankly, I'm very discouraged by some of the stuff going on in our society right now, especially currently. And so we are having a human experience in society with a very mixed results as far as I'm concerned. And I'm scratching my head, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't watch the news today. Maybe this is not a good idea. Yeah, I see some thumbs up and nodding heads. Yeah, for sure. So, and I don't need to tell you what's in the headlines and what's challenging, because you know what's resonating for you, and you can conjure up what's upsetting you like that. It's not hard. So I'm not going there. But how you choose or how I choose to participate in society is to focus on my awareness, my consciousness, my mental state. So what am I taking out into the world? What am I presenting? And because my thoughts, my consciousness influences my behavior, my actions, my words, everything. And people are paying attention. Well, hopefully you're paying attention, but not, people notice. People do notice. So it's like, you got to trust for what's the best. And it's a privilege to stand in front of you guys and tell you stuff that is going on with me. Because some of this is really upsetting to me. Yeah, I'm not. So where is my focus? Is my focus on what's upsetting me, or is my focus on where I can shift that energy, that consciousness, and be more present? And how do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to potentially impact at least one other person? Or it could be my cat. If I make my cat happy for the day, that may be all I do one day. I don't know. But so it's important to start with that self-awareness and the compassion for yourself, because stuff happens. Adversity shows up. There's a story of a young girl who is in her life, she's living her life, and one challenge after another, after another, after another. And she's struggling and bereft and despair. So she goes to see her mom, and she's telling her mom the stories and all these things, and mom goes, okay, I'm listening, yeah, I hear you. And then her mom goes into the kitchen and has her daughter follow her, and she gets out 3 large pots and fills those pots with water. And she puts each pot on the stove and cranks up the gas, because thank goodness there's gas, because that's not true everywhere in this world. And so pretty soon the pots are all boiling. And then what mom does is she whips out a carrot. And she throws it in one of the pots. And then she whips out an egg. Where can you see it best? There's an egg. And she throws it in a second pot. And then she whips out some coffee beans. And she throws them in the third pot. And then she stands there watching her daughter for like 20 minutes. And she's watching her daughter and watching her daughter. She says, what do you notice? To her daughter. She goes, you put carrot, egg, and coffee beans in water. Yeah, okay. What else do you notice? And her daughter is like, Mom, why are you doing this to me? Because that's part of her, victim. So her mom whips out the carrot, pretend this is cooked. Because right now it's uncooked. It's strong, it's hard, it's unrelenting, it's pretty strong. But after it's been in the water, which is the adversity or the challenge or the problem, it's wilted. It becomes soft and mushy. And the carrot, it's the pain and adversity has just done it in. It's no longer, it's wimpy, a wimpy carrot. And then you've got the egg. So when the egg is not cooked, it's malleable, it's fluid, it's very fragile, and it's protecting a liquid interior. But then, when you cook it, or you have an adversity of some kind, somebody you dearly love has died, it's a financial hardship, there's a breakup, it could be anything. But the egg becomes stiff and hard. And on the inside, it's bitter and tough. And the spirit is hardened. The heart is gone. It's not malleable. It's not open anymore. I'm not going to throw anything, just so you know, since I have the egg. And then the mother gets out the coffee beans. And she says, what do you notice? Well, the coffee beans have changed the water. So they're little tiny beans. But if you're like a bean and things are at their worst, you can get them better. You can change the situation around you because these coffee beans have turned into coffee. They have changed all the water around them, which was the adversity, all the problems that they were facing. And so when the darkest hour is there, you can know and think of the coffee beans and know that you can shift things. You have the power to shift the situation around you just by your point of view, just by the story you tell, just by what you're thinking. So how do you handle adversity? Are you a carrot, an egg, or coffee beans? All of the above. Depends on what's going on. Because sometimes you are strong and you influence and you change other people. Other times you just wilt and it's like it could have been a trigger or something from your childhood and you've closed your heart down. So it really depends. And so it's a good question to ask yourself is what am I doing? Because each of us has our unique experience, our unique path, our unique lives. And so we get to see what's going on. We get to practice agency in our lives. We have the power and the resources to change things by shifting our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. So societal events happen. Stuff happens out there. And our personal awareness of how we handle that is paramount. We get to choose how we respond. And so society is constantly evolving, and it's one way or another. It's like, and I put judgment on some of it, and I'm, okay, Madalyn, you're judging again. But there's a constant feedback loop if we're listening, if we're paying attention. Because, and we want to engage in the world. We want to be present for others. We want to have friends. Friendship is so, so precious. Because your friends will tell you when you're off base. Your friends will tell you when you're in la-la land. Your friends will tell you, I just love you because I love you. They accept you. They love you. It doesn't matter what you did or whatever. They forgive you. And so we have the agency to control what's in our little area. And that impacts other people. There's I think of it as the societal tipping point. The more people that we interact with, and even saying hi in the grocery store to the checker or the bagger or whatever, just if you're sharing love and light, guess what your life's going to be like? It's going to be more love and light. Those relationships, even if they're fleeting little relationships. I don't know if you remember, a few years ago it was a big deal, but there's the butterfly effect. So the butterfly effect is that the butterfly wings in chaos theory, it's a metaphor, those little flutter of the butterfly impacts the weather on the other side of the world. So you never know what a little tiny thing that you may do, what the impact may do for someone else. I know I've said stuff casually, no big deal, and made a difference for someone. And I know that that has happened for you. And you may not even know. They may not ever tell you. But I trust and know that that's true for each and every one of you. And it could have been as simple as, a smile. It could have been anything. This morning, of course, I'm always scanning the news. I did scan the news this morning, I have to confess, because I want to be on top of something if I need to say something to you about it. And I didn't, luckily, have that situation. But I did come across a brief story about a woman who was planning a little birthday party for her sister, who's going to be 8 years old. And this young woman is like in her 20s. And they had just lost their mother to brain cancer. And they had to move and everything, so there was a big upheaval. And so her little sister's birthday was coming up. The little girl's name is Charlotte, and her older sister's Chloe. And she wanted to throw the first birthday party her little sister had ever had, because her mom had always been so sick she couldn't give a party. So she sent out the invitations, and she got one reply from a kid. And it's hard during the summer for little birthday parties for kids. So Chloe, that's the older sister's name, was upset, and she put her upset out on TikTok. And then society, community came forth. There was an outpouring of love and support to celebrate little Charlotte. There were people who were, somebody from Australia called to say, or contacted, what does Charlotte need? What does she want? And there was a parade of Jeeps that was a Facebook group that decorated their Jeeps, and they did a drive-by, and they're throwing little rubber duckies, and somebody brought a horse, a little pony, to give pony rides to all the kids that showed up. So their house was full, so that Charlotte got her first birthday party after she'd lost her mom. So what are we putting out there? Are we putting out love? Are we putting out trust? Or are we putting out upset and outrage and anger? What are we putting out there? There's so many things that we can do, and I can't see the clock. Okay. I have lots of stories. But there's one that I just want to mention that Reverend Georgia Prescott, who's in Sacramento, I happened to hear her on the radio the other day. So she was talking about her group, Authentic Voices, Our Stories. And it's a troupe of people, and they do they do readings in the theater. And so they're telling real stories of people who've gone through prejudice and all sorts of things. So there's a website, Authentic Voices, Our Story, stories.com, and I would recommend that. So, but what we may accomplish when we work together is awesome. It's amazing and surprising, because I don't know how many of you have seen the James Webb Space Telescope pictures. They've been all over the place. But that was a joint group of the European Space Agency, Canadian Space Agency, and the U.S. And the pictures are amazing. And it's the universe, something we've never seen before, So that's awesome. But what really shocked me was that I heard on Friday that the Russians and the U.S. have agreed to keep sending, integrating the crews to go up to the International Space Station. So the Russians will go on the American spacecraft, and the Americans will go on the Russian spacecraft. So that made me feel better. And I went looking for the positive stuff, because the negative stuff is always in my face. But coming together is so important for healing, for comfort, for loving each other up. I know several people who live by themselves. So when they came out of the pandemic, a hug, no words, was so powerful. Human touch. It doesn't take much. So I want to encourage people to come on August 7th here for the grief and the healing and making peace with grief and going through grief, because if we push it down and ignore it, it just rises up stronger and more painful. So I would encourage anyone who is experiencing sorrow or grief, and no offense, but I think everybody is. So that's my opinion. So I want to have us do a call for action. So, we want a world that works for everyone. And you start in your sphere, in the community around you. So we can be an ambassador for good and for healing and be a change agent for it all. And so, I don't know what you're called to do. You volunteer at a school, give a donation. I gave a donation to Tonga because they had a volcanic eruption and a tsunami in January, right before Ukraine blew up. So no one heard about them again, and it's life or death for them too. So we're speaking up for transgender rights, sending money to someplace, and praying and treating, doing your prayer, and doing it in community, doing it together. I have daily practice of prayer, and then I have groups that I pray with too. So it's just so important to be together and to walk in gratitude with others. It's a quote I came across from Carolyn Baker. She said, "Gratitude is a state of mind that inherently recognizes interdependence with the external world, whether it be humans, nature, the sacred, or a combination of these." Yes. So let's be coffee beans and influencing the world in energetic ways. So let's take this into prayer. I breathe in, and I see, and I feel, and I know the universe is present. There is so much beyond my knowing. But I trust and know that divine creator is here working through me and everyone else. That there is that love, that light that is spreading from that one divine source. And I breathe in knowing, trusting, experiencing the infinite love of spirit that comes through all the beloveds in my life and those beyond. I just know and accept that each and every step we take is sacred. And Mother Earth is grateful as we care for her and love her. And I know and accept that there is a healing going on. I know it. And I also know and accept that there is peace. There is peace spreading in the land. I trust this, I know this. And I focus on the expansion of that peace, that love, that joy, that happiness. And I just know and accept that we are here together, here loving each other up, and that we have wisdom beyond our knowing, and that it comes together just in time. It comes to us as revelations, as dreams, as inner knowings, and we follow that divine intuition. I follow that divine intuition. And I know and accept that each and every person is on their divine spiritual path, and I trust and know the best for them. So I cherish the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. I cherish each and every person connected to this center in any way. And I know that we are all here in deep gratitude and thanks. And that spiritual law, that divine creative process always says yes, 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 yes. So with confidence, grace, love, conviction, and trust, I let these words go. And if you like, we say together, and so it is. Thank you very much. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now is the time for our conscious giving. And if you would take your gift, and if you'd like to put it over your heart, you're welcome to do that. And we can say this prayer together. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I am, and all that I receive. And so it is. Will the usher please accept the gifts? Yay! I'm going to put the coffee beans and the egg and the carrot in as well. So grateful for the bounty of life in all its forms. And I know and accept that these offerings increase the reach, the love, the impact of the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. And I know that each and every person who comes close, in whatever way they do, is uplifted, is loved, and appreciated. I just know and accept that it's all good. It's all God. Thank you, and so it is. So it is. Who wants the carrot? Yes. Hasn't the music been lovely? Yes. We've got Julie, we've got Donald, we've got Jeff Wright leading the way, and Valerie and Juanita. Thank you so much, all of you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Rev Lanny leading us in our community value of love. Thank you, and doing the candles. And Hillary and Gary are on the computer over there doing things. And Juanita's been running back and forth doing computer stuff too. And then I've been standing in front of this gorgeous iris from Jill and Carl Williams. Oh, it's Orchid, sorry. You can tell I know. Yeah, anyway, Orchid, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. Yes. And if you have anything that you would like prayer work about, Lanny and I are here. There's also a prayer form that you can fill out that's over by the front door. And if you have any communications for Rafe, there's also a little box with communications. You can write it out. Or there's always email. That works too. So please stand for our benediction. And repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It's this thing called spontaneity.
It's this thing called spontaneity.
It's this thing called conscious awareness.
It's this thing called conscious awareness.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called love.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I sense it.
I sense it.
Because I am it.
Because I am it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you all for coming. Blessings. Bye. One more song.
What I'm here for